lads and lasses, welcome back to the Pommy and Oz YouTube channel where we every week break down the mental stories coming out of the AFL. We had a little bit of a Pommy Twist, so grab your centre cuppa, get your comfy blanket, find your favourite rocking chair and sit back and enjoy as we go through some of the belters from this week. We're going all the way from Fev coming to Richmond, Carlton shaking things up at the top, a succession plan at Port, and what might be going on with Harley Reed. So we're in for a real treat today. I'm really excited. So sit back, relax, let's run that intro, and let's get straight into it. Now, firstly, I did tell you a big porky pie last week. I said that this show was going to be live. Now, I totally forgot in my exuberance and excitement to speak to you guys and girls that it is Valentine's Day today and it is my son's birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, my youngest little Zane. Big shout out to you. So obviously this weekend, I'm either making the wife happy or making the youngest happy. And as you know, that always happens in life. The wife and the youngest kid are always the most important in the household. So I apologise for that. But we will be doing this. There is some exciting things planned, so stay tuned on the channel. We've got a load of lives announced, and there's going to be some votes every week for you to choose which game we do a watch along on this very channel as well, to go alongside the other stuff we do. Now, the first bit of news we've got is a biggie, and it's quite serious, and I hate starting off serious, but have you ever been concussed? Oof, it's a bad thing. Well, the AFL is about to get serious about player safety and player welfare, especially around the situation of concussions. Collingwood have led the charge already in this pre-season, changing up their pre-season drills to avoid as much as they can concussions on the old noggin. It's fair play to them to be, but let's be honest, do we trust a bunch of footy lads not to go too hard? It is in their nature. It's kind of like asking a bull not to charge a red flag, isn't it, really? But jokes aside, it should be a good move. No one wants to see players calling it quits because they've taken too many knocks. Safe footy is good footy, in my opinion. And it ain't just Collingwood. A lot of the clubs are rethinking and reshuffling how they train and trying to limit concussion incidents. Long gone are the days where we saw two bulls just butt heads in the contest. And especially at training, unnecessary contact is usually the big leader of these long-term things. The game has evolved. It's a lot more dancey on the outside. It's about evading it. And the long-term health benefits, particularly in the brain, are something that needs to be looked at. We love a bit of aggression on the field, but we don't want these stories in 20 years' time of players doing interviews trying to remember their wedding day and things like that. That is not something we want. And we know that the cynic in me says that the AFL has tried to cover up these potential concussion cases with token jobs in the role. It's a lot safer to stamp it at the source. So this is one that's developing. Hopefully this doesn't bring in too many new rules like we're going to suddenly become Sarcastable off South Park. But it is a start, and the clubs are evidently doubling down on it. Speaking of hits, we've got one of the biggest hits from the early 90s, late noughties. In the big Fev is back in the game. And this time, surprisingly, he's taken a specialist forwards coaching role with the Richmond AFLW side. This bloke could kick them from just about anywhere. And he was a mass draw to the AFL. It was before my time from watching it, but I am familiar with his highlights. And he is probably one of the generation's best goal kickers. Now, Fev was a magician in front of the goal. More famous for being left on 99 because Clarko just can't give anyone anything good. But no doubt about it, can he translate that into coaching? Because let's be real, teaching and doing are two different entities. We look in the history of sport, genuinely the best tutors have been the guys that haven't been excellent at what they are tutoring. Why is that? Well, it's because it's called the appreciation of the journey in coaching. When you are naturally gifted and talented, you ever speak to someone who is naturally gifted and talented and ask them how to do it, genuinely they have no Scooby-Doo because it's an inherent need to do what they do. But this is good for AFLW, but it's also good for Fev. But do you remember your dad trying to teach you footy skills and you ended up showing you how to smoke a dart and do pints down the pub? Let's hope it's not something like that, because I learned that from my old man. But in all seriousness, if he can teach half of his perfect set shot routine to the Richmond lasses, they're going to be booting him in from the car park before we know it. And let's not forget, footy is evolving. This is a big coup for the AFLW. I do like it when big stars of the AFL come to the AFLW. I think it really adds some more eyes on there, and it gives a little bit of legitimacy to it, where at times I feel like the AFL have just used the AFLW to say they've got it. So let's hope this goes. I'm looking forward to seeing all the 6-pointers go through the post because of Fev. Good luck to him, and hopefully this opens avenues, if Fev enjoys it, that we start to see more of these ex-players come in a kind of just a casual role. It's surprising that we don't see it more. Talking about one Carlton legend, let's go over to Carlton. Now, we've covered on this show a lot about what we're calling Blue Ball Bag Gate in Luke Sayers getting his knob out for bants. But the Blues also like a little bit of drama, but they also like to move on quickly. They're kind of like, you know, when you take the piss out of your wife. I don't know how people are at home, and I don't know what husbands are like, because I've never been married to a man. But you know when you get into a little bit of a joking battle with your wife, but then you tell a joke, and then she just makes you move on because she doesn't find it funny? That's what Carlton do. When Carlton in that statement with Luke Sayers, we're like, nah, we're over it now. We're not allowed to talk about it. Well, guess what? I'm not everyone. I'm still talking about it. I ain't forgotten. Now, Luke Sayers, along with his ball bag, he is out of the club. And Robert Priestley is the new president. Now, has Carlton gone for something new and exciting, something innovative? No, they've got a banker in. Robert Priestley comes in. He's a proper bigwig in the banking world as well. But footy's a little bit of a different beast. Can he steer the ship, and can he keep Carlton on destination flag? Or is it going to be choppier seas and end up like a fish out of water? They say football clubs are like businesses, but I don't know about that. If you ran a footy club like a bank, half the squad would be getting sent out for financial irregularities. The other half would be asked why they're taking footballs out onto the park. Is it needed? Can't they just pretend there's a football? And the other lot would be losing their boots because of budget cuts. It's good luck to the bloke, though, fair play. I did find it quite amusing that someone that is high up at JP Morgan talk about that he's ethical led. What next? Real estate agents care about working class people. Carlton's got a job to do, and Carlton's got the complete squad, and I said off-field stability is incredibly crucial. I'm glad that they've kept it in-house because we don't want too much rock in the apple cart. This is a club that should be on the rise. The last thing they need is more choppy seas. Will Priestley be a steady hand just to guide them to 12 months? What will happen in 12 months' time? Will it be a massive board push? Only time will tell. Let me know in the comments what you guys and girls think of this story. Big news from Port Adelaide. They've lost a star player in Dan Houston, and also media journalists are now going to have to maybe do some research and find a story because they can't, by round 4, say Ken Hinkley needs sacking. Ken Hinkley has officially handed over the club to his assistant, Josh Carr, at the end of this season. Now, love him or hate him, we've talked about Port Adelaide quite regularly in the pre-season. They are one of the most regimented teams structurally in the league. And the reports are flying in that Josh Carr has signed a 3-year deal, the former Port Adelaide player and current assistant coach, to take the big boy pants on in 26. He knows the club inside out and won't need a sat-nav to find the Alberton Oval. However, he's probably going to have to negate the fact that Port Adelaide seem to want to sack their coaches in the media more than any. But it does beg the question, this, having a succession plan when you are already second and were a couple of games off winning the thing, is this a sign that when you've sold Dan Houston, you've had big shuffles, that you really don't see this season as anything of note? I'd throw my hat into the ring. I think my expert analysis, my witty charisma, and my ability to draw the people together would be good. But seriously, I think this is a golden chance for Josh Carr, because I really do like Port's list. I think that if it's a smooth transition, that helps them out. And I do feel like they do lack a bit of je ne sais quoi when it comes to finals football. Will it be Josh Carr? Again, time will tell. I have hairy ones, not crystal. So it's going to be a fascinating one. We're going to see what's happening. And I expect by about round 13, round 14, you see Ken Hinkley have the headset on Josh Carr's coaching from the sidelines. All right, last but not least, this is a story that could make me look very foolish. Harley Reed, The young gun that's got the world in the frenzy. He's done everything but an underwear ad so far. He's at West Coast. He's a big game player. Everyone talks about him. And the Victorians are salivating at the opportunity to maybe bring him home. Rumours are flying. He's held off on Cox, weighing up his options. Now, can you blame him? West Coast are a bit of a rabble at the minute. It ain't a quick fix. Is he going to bail early? I mean, he could be the face of the revival and really cement his legacy day one. This is a young star that has to make a choice. Stick with the club that drafted you and stick by your word that you're happy there. And Pom's word, who said, I think he's a one-club player. Or do you chase the bigger market, the bigger paycheck? Victoria, bright lights. It's meant to be the top 5 cities to live in. He's got all the talent in the world. He's a game changer, and he's definitely X factor from a marketing point of view. It's going to be a cracking one to follow. Now, for me, though, I just feel, and I'm not one of these old farts who's going to say to you, oh, where's the loyalty and stuff like that? Because I have kids, I have a wife. It's all right preaching loyalty, but when we're talking $5-10 million over a short kind of career, see if you're loyal then. Like, that would turn my head. It's going to be a really interesting one with this because Harley obviously coming to Victoria with big news. But I do hate hearing this. Oh, you want to play in the bright lights of Melbourne. Perth is huge for footy. Adelaide is huge for footy. Queensland's huge for Darren Lockyer. Like, you've got 3 states that really will treat you like a god anyway. And I do think that West Coast are a big, big club to me. Like, for me, if you were choosing, now this is no offence to any other club, but let's just say Melbourne Demons came in. That's like Newcastle United, leaving Newcastle United to go to Forest. Isn't it really? Like, okay, Forest won a Champions League in the 80s, but Newcastle, 60,000, St James's Park, Geordie's, swilling beer. Still a big move. You're still a legend. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let me know, you guys and girls, what you think. Harley Reed, stay, go. So let me know. That wraps up this week's biggest stories. What do you think? Who's making the right moves? Who's made a pig's ear of it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, do us a solid. Hit the like, subscribe. We're nearly at 7K. I want to hit 10K. I feel like we deserve, as a community, to be in them upper echelons of the 10K community. I'll see you soon for more footy chat. Stay tuned. We're going to do a weekly schedule as well, you know, to keep me honest. So, peace, love and light. Pommy out.